right in front of you because there'll be a bumpy ride as we enter into the water. Now please hold on tight to your cameras. If the cameras enter the water, you'll never get it back. Alright. Okay, one more time. No, huh? Alright. Now good news, you're already in the waters of Kallang River, but bad news, my friends at the back, you're still dry, yeah? So if you want to get wet, you let me know. I have a bottle of water in front. I know what to do with it, alright? So guys, I'd like to ask all of you, what sound does the on the flyer, 37 minutes. Okay, each capsule of cabin that you see, 28 to 30 people at one go. Alright, they can go up. Now guys, back in the early days, in March 2008 actually, alright, when the flyer started to turn for the first time, it was turning in clockwise direction. Today, you look at it very closely, to be able to see a ship. Okay, now that is the construction of the second casino that we have here in Singapore, which is the Marina Bay Sands Integrated Resort. 3 tall buildings, hotels, 2,500 rooms available inside. Again, now on top, on the 55th story is a sky garden. Alright, a sky garden. And now the casino is built underwater. Later on, I'll show it to you. The human DNA. That is 1,000 people can be seated right over there. Alright, 27,000. A lot of people can say that. On your right, this is the floating stage. Now this will be the largest floating stage in the world, simply because it's the only one in the world. That's why they say it's the largest made of the tiniest steel. What they're doing right now, they're constructing for the preparations of our National Day Parade coming this August. Alright, but way before that, we'll be having a lot of rehearsals. Theaters on the bay, something like the Sydney Opera House, yeah? Okay, because the astronaut in the right here cost us 600 million Singapore dollars to build. It consists of a 2,000-seat concert theater, that's also 1,600 concert hall. Okay, now you look behind the 2 giant domes to see tall building. Now that is not the tallest building in Singapore, but that is the tallest hotel you'll find here. Okay, that is our Stuart Hotel, the Stanford, 73 stories. Guys, for those of you if you don't like eating durians, you might want to eat chocolates instead, yeah? Alright, now for those of you who love eating chocolates, you go to the Fullerton Hotel in front of you. Every Friday and Saturday night, you have chocolate buffet. You pay $40 for yourself, you can eat as much chocolate as you like it. But guys, do get your cameras ready. Approaching on the right hand side, this is a tourism icon of Singapore, which is what we call the merlion. Again, a merlion is a statue, the head of the lion, body of a fish. Now the head of the lion is where Singapore got its name from. Okay, Singapore got its name from the word Singapura. Again, now Singapura means lion city in Sanskrit language. So that's why you have the head of the lion. Now whereas the body of a fish actually reminds us all today, Singapore used to be fishing village, where we started up from. Our humble beginnings known as Temasek. A lotus, you know the flower? Lotus is going to be a science arts museum when it's fully complete. Okay, so what you're looking all over here, 8 billion Singapore dollars, alright, 8 billion. This is one of the most expensive casinos throughout the world. Hopefully by end of September will be fully complete. I think part of the casino will be open by the end of this month. Okay, so when housing that we have here, okay, which is your private apartment called condominium. Now if a local in Singapore were to own a condominium, it shows you're very rich already. 3-room apartment, condominiums can go as high as 5 to 6 million Singapore dollars. Okay, so very expensive. This is only second type of housing. Third type, landed properties, bungalows and terraces. Most of the locals in Singapore stay in the first type, public flats. They are built subsidized by the government. 86% of Singaporeans will stay in a public flat. Okay, but in Singapore it doesn't matter which type of housing you stay at. One thing for sure, at night you walk down the streets, you cannot see people sleeping on the streets here in Singapore. Contract with Formula 1. Last year, only our second time hosting the race. First time we had the F1 races, most expensive ticket, 7,000 Singapore dollars. Okay, 7,000 includes your 3-day pass in the races, You get to sit at the grandstand and get your private cruise around the neighboring islands of Singapore. Last year they were bidding on the good seas and the highest bid, 1 million Singapore dollars. Alright? If you want to get cheap tickets, very cheap tickets for Formula 1 races, at the end of Ducktours, you look for me. Alright? You take down my number. When the races come in September, you give me a call. I will bring you to my house and we'll watch it on big screen television, give you food as well. Alright? That's the cheapest ticket, I can tell you that. But I cannot take all of you, your seats are limited. Okay? But because over there, cheapest ticket, $200 plus a walking ticket. I don't know what a walking ticket will do for you. You don't get a seat and you walk around. Okay? You walk around, the cars pass by, I think you see nothing. Alright, now once again over to your left, that is the double helix bridge inspired by the human DNA. By the local Singapore, but big creative, we call it the durian instead, right back here. Now, world-class performances such as your Phantom of the Opera, Cats, the musical was carried out within the theaters. Just about now inside, they're showing Chicago, the musical. To Singapore. Alright, you'll be able to find our government buildings in one area, whereas your financial buildings, your banks and your insurance company will be another area right in front of you. Again, now coming up on your right, that is our City Hall building. Right next to it is the old Supreme Court. Again, now these two buildings, they are closed down already and they will be used as a world-class arts museum by 2012. Alright. Over to your left, this is a war memorial, which is what we call a cenotaph. It is to pay a tribute to the military victims who died in World War I. That's why you see the dates and the year World War I written. Now, since the old Supreme Court is already closed down, where is the new Supreme Court? Now, the new Supreme Court is the building at the back with a flying saucer on top of it. Okay, so that is not a revolving restaurant you're thinking of one, but that is actually the new Supreme Court. The top of it houses High Court of Appeal, mind you. Used to be the Parliament House for this country back in the early days, right? Now you'll be able to see the old Supreme Court, a closer view, and keep your eyes over to your left. You'll be able to see the new one right at the back. Now look at the new Supreme Court. They have a lot of glass panels surrounding it. Now the glass panels is to represent the transparency of the Singapore government that we have here. Okay? On the steps of City Hall on your left, this is where we gained our independence on the 9th of August 1965. Whereas the area over to your right in the middle, this is what we call the padang, the vacant piece of land. Now padang means flat land or field in Malay. Very first National Day of Singapore was carried out right over here. Okay? Now, one of my favorite buildings actually over to your left as we move forward, this white cathedral is the St. Andrew's Cathedral, named after the patron saint of Scotland. This will be one of the oldest and largest Anglican church in Singapore. Now, the cathedral was built in such a way where the structure of it looks exactly like a cross. So if you go up to Swiss Hotel, all the way at the top, you look down at St. Andrew's, you'll be able to see